Hello, class. Welcome to Spirit and Life Seminary's start of our PM 200 discipleship in the local church. I am thankful to be a part of this. My name is Joshua Lynn, and I will be your instructor for the next few weeks. And I certainly look forward to being on this journey with you. I've taught this class a few times in the past, and so some content may be from previous sessions and others from the current, but always know that we're here to answer your questions to help you on your journey. I just wanted to take a brief moment to add to this week's lecture to clarify the current expectations of this course, and we'll be looking at the syllabus that you should have. It is available for you to view again online. But again, if you need some assistance here, please let us know. I'm showing you just briefly what that looks like if you haven't looked at it. It starts with the course description. I will not read all of these things, as well as the course objective and the learning outcomes. You'll see your textbook is twofold. It is Discovering Discipleship Dynamics of Christian Education, and there Blevins and Maddox is there. And then the second is Living in the Spirit, the Way of Salvation by Dr. Goss, and you'll be blessed by that. My page breaks this up a little different. The requirements, here is what you'll be doing each and every week. And the first is you will be participating in your weekly discussion forums. Here it gives you the number of words, the number of times you post, essentially one primary personal response and then two replies. The system looks at the date those were posted, the number of words, that is kind of system generated. I kind of review the content of that and post grades accordingly, but you'll have those due each week. Those dates are already in the system for you. You also have a weekly test. Now, I apologize for one of the videos there. It was an old video that spoke of your weekly journal. This course does now currently have a weekly test instead of the weekly journal. I had an email asking me about the journal. I'll share you personally. I think it has value, but it will not be graded in that sense for you. But that test will be available and be due by the end of the week for you. There is also, and this is the final, we'll take a session and discuss more fully, but your end of session church discipleship analysis final paper. This is a 5 to 7 page research paper, which is fairly small, but certainly applicable to it. You will describe your observations of each of the forms of discipleship: Sunday school, children's, teens, etc. And again, we'll talk more about this specifically as we move forward. You will identify strengths and weaknesses of each type, and then you want to develop a plan to improve and implement the methods and practices of discipleship in your local church by building on the strengths of your church, using support from Scripture and from your research materials. And then it tells you about sourcing and the actual writing of that. Your grades are based 35% off the discussion forums, 35% off of your reading and your test, and then your final paper is the rest of your grade there at 30%. So here is the weekly schedule. Again, this is already loaded in the system for you, but you'll see each week roughly 3 chapters that you will read to 4. The Goss is fairly simple read, so don't get lost on that. But those 2 books will solidify you and help you there. So again, that's kind of a rough view of your syllabus. Wanted you to see that and to know that, so that you could certainly move forward. Let's look at the rest of the course for you and just kind of make sure that you fully have everything that you need. Apologize, we jumped camera shots there, but let's look, and I want to tell you a little bit, introduce myself if I've never had you in class before, so that you kind of know who I am. And this keeps jumping, I apologize, but want to share with you about my family and myself, so you know who I am and where I'm at. I currently have the joy of serving in the state of Virginia. I serve here as the state bishop, and that been here for the last 2 years almost, and you'll see this here for us hopefully. And there's some pictures of my family. We've been here since September of 2022. This year will be our 25th anniversary in August, but 24 years. We have 4 children, 3 daughters and 1 son, and my degrees earned a Master of Arts Biblical Studies, and by the grace of God we'll get our doctorate if I can, just with $2 in college, if I can find time and financing the wells. But anyway, we are excited to be in this journey with you. It is my hope that I can be of value and a service to you through this journey. And if I can, I want you to please feel free to write by email. That's the best way. My email is in the syllabus. You can do that. That's a Spirit and Life Seminary email. Please give me a day or so to respond. Certainly feel free to ask your classmates. Sometimes they have those bits of information and help for you. One thing I always mention in my classes that I do, in knowing myself and knowing us as ministers, we often can read content and next thing you know, we're off to writing a lesson or a sermon. And there are elements of similarity to it, but this is an academic journey that you are on. And so I want to encourage you to not just write about, boy, I agree with this statement, let me tell you my life experience, and you spend a lengthy time sharing your personal opinion. Certainly your experience will come into the lessons and into your writing, but you need to make sure you've sourced that, meaning what you've read and what you are interacting with in material and with your classmates, that you're engaging with the text and responding from it. From a hermeneutical language, we would talk about the difference of eisegesis and exegesis, meaning, are we imposing upon the scripture in eisegesis our opinion and our thought and using a verse for what I call flavoring, or are you extracting from the passage its meaning and it's writing the outline? And so I want you to take that concept of, instead of imposing upon the text that you're reading your thoughts, I want you to extract from it. Now you can disagree with it, but you need to make sure you're extracting what they are saying and trying to apply it, not to regurgitate information, but so that you're taking it and creating application from it. And so ultimately you're trying to gain what I term as nuggets each and every week through the material, so that you can learn and grow, so that you will have the tools to be a better effective leader in context of our course, that you will be better enabled to make disciples through your local church's ministries. One last warning that I will give you regarding your final paper, 2 pieces technically regarding that. One, though it isn't done until the end, you need to reread what I highlighted in the syllabus of what you're supposed to do. This way, as you're writing and reading throughout the weeks leading up to it, you may create a note. If you're digital, you create a final page, just ideas and thoughts, and you can begin taking quotes from what you're reading, quotes from what other students are saying, or just ideas you have. You may not use them all, but you're going to begin archiving information so that when it gets closer to the end, you're able to quickly assess that. And you'll also have a little bit of a working knowledge of where you're headed. You'll see as we get closer into that, you'll need to interact with what's going on in your local church. So there may be some questions that you need to begin to ask leadership around you. If you're the senior pastor, you probably have that already. If you're not the senior pastor, you may want to talk to your senior pastor and say, I'm in this class. I would like to use our church as an example so I can learn and grow. Are there areas that you would like me to help in? In other words, you don't want to come and go, Pastor, I figured out all of your problems in the church, but rather engage with that pastor and use this as an opportunity to bless your church with your ideas. Certainly it would be the pastor's job to take that and learn how to apply it, because if you're not the pastor, you may not see everything they see. So interact with that, plan appropriately. The first week or two are the hardest, so don't get overwhelmed. Don't give up in this journey, but know that you can make it, and just stick the course. Don't give up. Keep working. If I can help you, let me know. Please be diligent in managing your time. I have very limited options to extend work without creating issues in your grade. Certainly we have to be fair. There's academic standards we have to keep, and we all have life happening. And so I encourage you, plan for life to happen, meaning the things you unplanned for, plan for the unplanned. We call that keeping margin. And so try to get your work done as early as possible. Try to read ahead if you're able. Once you get in rhythm of that, it'll work out. So God bless you. Please reach out to me if I can be any of assistance to you. God bless.